All right, you're watching the Arise News here, and this is your Global Business Report. I'm Bosin Amafaye. We're live to you from Lagos Commercial Capital. Lagos will now take you to the 2025 Afreximbank Compliance Forum opening ceremony in Kigali, the Rwandan capital.
Amazing. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a beautiful Wednesday morning. We are all excited for the amazing conversations that we'll be having. Let's have a bit more energy to start the day. Good morning, everyone. Let's turn it up a bit, just one more time. Good morning, everyone. Amazing. A very, very warm welcome to the 2025 Afreximbank Compliance Forum. My name is Narengwa Fiona-Mothoni. I'm very delighted to be with you for the next couple of days. For those of you who have traveled from near and far to be with us, we say Murakazaneza. You're very, very warm welcome to the land of 1,000 hills, Kigali, Rwanda, the land of opportunities. We're really delighted to have you all here with us today. And I hope you're settling in well to what is going to be your home for the next couple of days. Kigali will be your hub of ideas. Kigali will also be a place as where you form meaningful conversations, and we do look forward to what the next 3 days really have to offer. This year's forum is organized by the African Export-Import Bank in collaboration with the National Bank of Rwanda, and it's really building on the remarkable success that we saw from our last year's edition in Dakar, Senegal. Together, we will all continue the vital work of Afreximbank's compliance division. We are really advancing its 2025 mission to strengthen knowledge, strengthen advocacy, and leadership in compliance across Africa and the Caribbean, or as we like to call it, the global Africa. Our theme for this year really says it all. Embracing AI to promote and secure trade through a modern AML, CFT, CPF compliance framework. And over the next 3 days, we will really explore how technology, collaboration, and resilience can shape a stronger, safer, and a more connected Africa, one that leads with integrity and innovates with purpose. And now, before I continue, I would like to recognize some of our distinguished guests with us this morning. We do have Mr. Nick Barije, the Deputy Governor of the National Bank of Rwanda, Mr. Edwin Harris, Director General of the Intergovernmental Action Group Against Money Laundering in West Africa, Mr. Olivier Chiperesa, Director General of Financial Intelligence Unit of Zimbabwe. We have CEOs of multilateral institutions and banks with us this morning. We have Afreximbank sponsors and partners, as well as Afreximbank senior executive. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to officially open this year's forum, I kindly request if we could all kindly rise for Rwanda's national anthem that will be followed by Afreximbank's anthem.
motherland and far beyond. With dignity we rise and we build a bridge for all. With integrity, respect, trust, excellence, commitment, creativity. We will build for Africa's prosperity. We will build for the now and posterity. As we standing together, we prevail till forever. We are transforming Africa's trade. Oh, we are Afreximbank. We will build for Africa's prosperity. We will build for the now and posterity. As we standing together, we prevail till forever. We are transforming Africa's trade. Oh, we are Afreximbank. Hey, salam. Oh, yeah, my way, salam. Oh, yeah, my way, salam.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. You may take your seats. Before we dive in, a few housekeeping rules. If you'd like to access our program for the next 3 days, you can find it on our website, or you could also scan the QR code that is projected right on the screen. We do have Wi-Fi. If you'd like to connect to the network here, you can connect to Serena Hotels. Voucher code is Serena1. Serena, capital S, Serena1. And we will also be having interpretation that's in French and English. If you would require the headset for interpretation, kindly do raise your hand. We'll have members of the ushering team who will come to you, help you with also setting it up. And once you do have them, English is channel 1, French is channel 2. We also have with us several partners and sponsors who have made this really a success, and we want to take a few minutes to recognize them. Starting with our premium sponsor, we have Nhundu, event sponsor, LexisNexis Risk Solutions, SAS, and VirtuWave. For our exhibitors, Venuron and Elucidate. Our bank partners, we have Bank of Kigali, Numisma Bank and Wave. Our opening cocktail sponsor, Standard Chartered Bank. Our closing cocktail sponsor, CBZ, or the Commercial Bank of Zimbabwe. And of course, to each and every one of you here with us today, we really say thank you. Thank you for making this the success that it is. And as we embark on this journey of ideas and innovation, let's begin with a story, one that connects our past, our present, and our future. I kindly ask if you could all turn your attention to the screen to watch the welcome video. compliance, better trade, and for the next 3 days, as it has been highlighted, we'll really be having conversations on how to shape better practices and how do we best shape collaboration. To officially kick us off, I would like you to help me welcome to the stage Mr. Kudakwashe Matereke, the Regional Director, Regional Operation at Afreximbank. Let's welcome him to the stage with a warm round of applause. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, and I hope you traveled well from wherever you were coming from to beautiful Kigali. Please allow me to address you on the protocols already established, welcoming our hosts, and special recognition to my brother Nick Barije of the National Bank of Rwanda, and Mr. Eric Harris of the Eastern and Southern Africa Anti-Money Laundering Group, our sponsors and partners. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to the 9th Afreximbank Compliance Forum, which is an important event that continues to mirror the bank's commitment to advancing Africa's trade, deepening financial integrity, and strengthening the institutional frameworks that safeguard our continent's economic future. We gather here today in the vibrant city of Kigali with a powerful and forward-looking theme, embracing AI to promote and secure trade through a modern AML, CFT, CPF compliance framework. I think the theme is relevant for us today as it captures the very essence of the transformation that Africa must lead. A transformation that balances innovation and integrity, leveraging on technology to unlock trade, ensuring that growth is secure, sustainable, and inclusive. Distinguished guests, despite some remarkable progress, Africa's share of global trade remains low at between 2 and 3%, despite the continent having 17% of the world. Intra-Africa trade volumes, which are estimated at around 15% of the continent's total trade, makes Africa vulnerable to global economic shocks and contrasts with much higher intra-regional trade in Europe and Asia. The low volumes or the low levels of intra-Africa trade, exports and imports, are a result of persistent challenges as a result of poor infrastructure, high tariffs, and costs of doing business, and a historical focus on exporting raw commodities instead of finished goods. It is the issue today of the cost of doing business because of compliance that we seek to address. Geopolitical tensions, supply chain disruptions, and evolving industrial policies continue to test our resilience. Yet, with the implementation of the AfCFTA and the rapid rise in digitalization, Africa is an unparalleled opportunity to redefine its space and place in global trade. However, it is imperative that we modernize our compliance frameworks and embrace technology to secure trust, transparency, and to address the information gaps which increase the cost of doing business and hinder the growth of trade. As you may recall, or as some of you may recall, Afreximbank was created as a child of necessity in the 1990s, following the failure of the international financial system to address the challenges facing African countries, and indeed developing countries, in accessing trade finance. African leaders decided that they needed to establish a bank that would fill the gap and provide services and financing to African institutions. The bank, therefore, exists to facilitate, promote, and expand intra- and extra-Africa trade. And to serve its purpose, the bank provides interventions in accordance with the Charter through the following instruments. We offer credit, we offer guarantees, we offer advisory services. And recently, we also expanded our space to provide equity. Some of you would know that we have an institution that we own 100% called the Fund for Exports Development in Africa, FEDA, which I'm happy to say it is headquartered here in Kigali, which provides equity. The bank continues to pursue its current strategy of supporting intra-Africa trade, number one, industrialization and exports development, number two, and number three, we pursue leadership in global trade finance. And the fourth one, we pursue the building of a sustainable, financially sustainable institution. However, in doing all that, we are mindful that Afreximbank's and the continent's aspirations to develop economically must be accompanied by a robust mechanism to combat money laundering, terrorist financing, and proliferation financing. This is the purpose of this forum, to bring together compliance professionals, regulators, FATF, regional style bodies, other compliance regulatory bodies, both national and international, and trade finance specialists to explore how a modern anti-money laundering framework and can be strengthened by artificial intelligence and promote legitimate trade and protect our financial systems from abuse. Ladies and gentlemen, the integration of artificial intelligence and machine learning into compliance processes presents a turning point for our sector. AI-driven solutions can now detect suspicious patterns faster, analyze vast data sets with precision, and enhance customer due diligence, including identification of ultimate beneficial owners, a key global compliance requirement. By embracing AI, we can shift from reactive to proactive compliance, anticipating risks before they materialize, and reducing false positives, and ensuring that legitimate African businesses are not unfairly de-risked. And we have seen the risk. Every time incidents increase, we see international partners withdrawing, citing compliance costs. We need to own the processes and be able to address them ourselves. At Afreximbank, we believe that better compliance leads to better trade, and with AI, that compliance can be smarter, faster, and more inclusive. I have been reliably informed that this year's theme has been driven by the market. In most of the bilateral engagements that were undertaken by Afreximbank compliance team, with the key African stakeholders requesting for training on AI. This demonstrates the commitment that Afreximbank has to provide leadership on compliance matters. In this regard, Afreximbank will soon be rolling out webinars on AI and compliance in the regions, and we request you to be part of this journey. Our commitment to this vision is reflected in several flagship initiatives that blend trade facilitation and technological innovation. You may know, Afreximbank is a key sponsor to the Inter-African Trade Fair, and recently we were in Algeria for the version of the IATF 2025, which is a platform for promoting trade and investment across the continent, fostering collaboration and harmonization of standards under the AFCFTA. Africa Quality Assurance Centers, which is the infrastructure for certification, inspection, and training essential to ensuring African products meet global standards. We also have a platform called the ATEX, which is a digital platform for B2B and B2G marketplace, enabling transparent procurement and supply chain efficiency. We have the Africa Trade Gateway, which is a suite of integrated digital platforms, including MANSA, which is the due diligence database, and the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, all designed to build trust, enhance transparency, and facilitate trade finance. These initiatives demonstrate how technology, including AI-powered tools, can streamline compliance, reduce trade friction, and strengthen Africa's participation in the global economy. We are honored to partner with institutions and companies that share our vision for a secure and prosperous Africa. Our gratitude extends to the Bank of Kigali, the National Bank of Rwanda, the Eastern and Southern Africa Anti-Money Laundering Group, Oando, Standard Chartered Bank, Nomusima Bank, Wave, CBZ, SAS, VertoWave, LexisNexis, Elucidate, and Venuran. Your contributions reinforce the ecosystems of innovation and trust that is essential in promoting a culture of compliance across the continent. Afreximbank is calling, number one, the financial institutions in Africa to keep investing in compliance technologies to protect their businesses, and by doing so, inter-African trade. Our regulators to keep adapting regulations to the dynamic evolutions of trade and technology. More importantly, while Africa is striving to build a strong compliance framework and culture, the bank is calling the compliance system providers to keep improving, and thanks to AI, to improve their technologies while not forgetting to consider to integrate the requirements of the African regulatory and business framework into those solutions. We believe that technology, and AI in particular, must be flexible enough to map the requirements of the African regulators, because the exercise of copy and paste in technology does not always particularly work, especially when it is about implanting it in a different regulatory environment. To our technology partners, come to Africa, talk to our corporates, to our SMEs, to our financial institutions and regulators, and let's improve the support that is expected from the systems. The above points that I raised would help our corporates, SMEs, and financial institutions to be more agile in doing business and monitoring trade-related risks. Over the coming days, we will engage with distinguished experts from regional and global institutions, and we seek their insights so that they illuminate the evolving global expectations around leveraging from AI tools, sanctions compliance, and digital AML frameworks. Our focus on AI-driven compliance solutions will give participants hands-on exposure to technologies that reshape the compliance landscape. These tools are not only good at detecting financial crimes, but also empowering African financial institutions to remain competitive and trusted global players. Most importantly, the forum provides the opportunity of networking. Please feel connected with all the stakeholders and let us develop a culture of sharing notes, sharing best practice, and engagements for our benefit. By nature, compliance relies on stakeholder engagements and collaborations. We make a call to action. We are not merely gathering here at the Afreximbank Compliance Forum. It is a call to action, a call to modernize our systems, harmonize our regulatory standards, and embrace the tools that will secure Africa's trade future. We at Afreximbank are proud of having set the standards of compliance high and having made the Afreximbank Compliance Forum to become the premier continental gathering of experts. Let us say it loud, since we have several regulators and clients today present in this assembly. Africa intends to develop in a compliant manner. This approach, we are deeply convinced, will lead our international partners to move from de-risking Africa to re-risking Africa, the continent that we believe has a future. Dear delegates and partners, we are calling you to leverage AI and digital innovation and not to perceive these as threats to our business, but as business enablers on integrity and growth. Let us continue to build strong compliance culture and build culture rooted in trust, accountability, and collaboration between the stakeholders, who are the corporates, the banks, and the regulators. It is through such foundations that trade will truly thrive across the African continent, and we can make the goals of the AfCFTA complete. At Afreximbank, we remain committed to leading this transformation, changing the African narrative by empowering our institutions, protecting our markets, and ensuring that every trade transaction contributes to a secure, transparent, and prosperous continent. Let me take this opportunity, in conclusion, to thank the National Bank of Rwanda for its partnership in this event. NBR has proved to be not just a true partner to the Afreximbank, but a real partner for growth as we continue to do business together. We promise to partner with you on more events in the future, and we wish to thank our speakers, the panelists, and our partners. Thank you for sharing your expertise, and we expect from you challenging conversations and bold ideas and proposals which will bolster our African compliance culture. To our delegates who have traveled from near and far, thank you for your commitment to advancing compliance and trade in Africa. Please do not hesitate to ask difficult questions to our panelists, because that's the only way we can become better. May this event in 2025 inspire us all to embrace AI boldly, to collaborate purposefully, and to build the modern compliance framework that Africa needs to lead in global trade. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kudakwashe. You have perfectly dissected how crucial this year's theme is, as he said in his own words, timely, forward-looking, and powerful. He has also emphasized on the importance for each and every one of us here in this room to actively engage in the conversations that we'll be having for the next couple of days. And as he has also emphasized, Africa's share of global trade remains low. Compliance is the key. And we've seen Afreximbank is really stepping in to bridge this gap. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the stage our next speaker, Mr. Nhundu, Senior Financial Sector Expert.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, but some of us were a bit shorter, so I need to adjust the mic and also to raise my voice. Allow me to begin by acknowledging the presence of Mr. Matereke, the Regional Director, Afreximbank, Mr. Diop, Compliance Director, my former DG, Mr. Peresa, FIU DG Zimbabwe, Mr. Barije, Deputy Governor, National Bank of Rwanda, senior officials from Afreximbank, National Bank of Rwanda, Rwanda Bank Association, representatives of financial institutions, regulators, and development partners, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, all protocols observed. On behalf of Eastern and Southern Africa Anti-Money Laundering Group, SAMLAC, I'm honored to deliver these remarks at this important forum. I also convey warm greetings from our Executive Secretary, Ms. Fikile P. Zita, who sends best wishes and the reaffirmation of SAMLAC's full support for this event. Let me express sincere appreciation to Afreximbank for once again partnering with SAMLAC in hosting this landmark compliance forum, and to the National Bank of Rwanda and Rwanda Bank Association for co-hosting it in this dynamic city of Kigali. SAMLAC deeply values this partnership. Our collaboration during the 8th Compliance Forum in Dakar last year demonstrated the impact of united action in promoting financial integrity across Africa. Importantly, this partnership has been further strengthened in following Afreximbank's approval as an observer at the recent SAMLAC Task Force of Senior Officials and Council of Ministers meeting held in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia in August 2025. This milestone cements our mutual commitment to advancing compliance, financial integrity, and sustainable trade across the continent. Looking at the compliance, better trade, enhancing AI to promote and secure trade through modern AML safety CPF compliance frameworks is both timely and visionary. Africa's financial landscape is transforming through digitalization, mobile banking, and cross-border trade platforms. Yet with innovation comes risk. Criminals now exploit new technologies to conceal illicit transactions. Artificial intelligence provides us with a strong ally. When used responsibly, AI enhances transaction monitoring, customer due diligence, and real-time risk detection, turning compliance into a proactive driver of safe and effective trade. However, technology must always serve ethics, accountability, and strong governance. Skilled professionals and sound data protection remain essential. Looking at our mandate, SAMLAC's main mission is to promote and assess the effective implementation of anti-money laundering, combating financing of terrorism, and proliferation standards within its member countries' jurisdiction as issued by the Financial Action Task Force. We do this by conducting mutual evaluations to assess national AML safety CPF of PPF frameworks and identify gaps. And we also provide technical assistance and capacity building for financial institutions, law enforcement agencies, and regulators. Further, we promote cooperation and information sharing across borders. And lastly, with strengthening public-private sector partnership to enhance a culture of compliance. Our 22 member countries continue to progress towards strong frameworks that reinforce trust, integrity in Africa's financial system. If we look at compliance as a catalyst for trade, compliance and trade are not opposing forces. They are partners in progress. Strong compliance frameworks foster investor confidence, preserve corresponding banking relationships, and ensure resilience, inclusive growth. However, weak compliance, on the other hand, exposes economies to sanctions, reputational harm, and financial exclusion. Thus, on the theme better compliance and better trade speaks to our shared vision of an integrated Africa, where transparency, well-governed financial systems drive inclusive prosperity. By promoting sound MSFT frameworks, we lay the foundation for a sustainable economic integration under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. I commend Afreximbank for its visionary leadership in advancing both trade and compliance across Africa. I also recognize the National Bank of Rwanda and the Rwanda Bank Association for their collaboration and hospitality. Our joint efforts exemplify regional unity, the very cooperation needed to protect Africa's financial system from illicit flows and strengthen collective resilience. As we look ahead, we embrace artificial intelligence and other innovations. Let us focus on building human capacity, ethical oversight, and coherent policy framework. Example is exploring how technology can support mutual evaluations, risk analysis, and data-driven policy making. We encourage all stakeholders to share knowledge and develop AI solutions that are both effective, inclusive, and secure. As we open this forum, let us reaffirm our shared responsibility to safeguard Africa's financial integrity. Let us view compliance not as a regulated burden, but as a foundation of trust that fuels investment, trade, and inclusive prosperity. Samlak stands ready to continue working with the Afreximbank, national authorities, and international partners to strengthen government, transparency, and technology advancement across Africa. In closing, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Afreximbank, National Bank of Rwanda, Rwanda Bank Association, and all the sponsors, and also to our Executive Secretary, and to all delegates who continue to champion integrity in Africa's financial landscape. Together, we can make compliance a cornerstone of Africa's prosperity. Thank you very much. Asante sana ndatenda. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And asante sana, Mr. Tirivafi. Very, very well put. Enhancing a culture of compliance is crucial. Building trust, leveraging on artificial intelligence also is really at the heart of achieving inclusive and sustainable development. And now, ladies and gentlemen, very, very delighted to welcome Mr. Nick Barije, the Deputy Governor of the National Bank of Rwanda, to the stage for his remarks. Let's appreciate him as he comes to the podium.
I felt I didn't need that. Mr. Kondashwe Matereke, Regional Director, Regional Operations, Afreximbank, National Bank of Rwanda board members present, senior executives, captains of industry, both in Rwanda and those who are joining us today. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Let me start by teaching you some Kinyarwanda. In Kinyarwanda, I would have said Mwaramutse. So Mwaramutse. Good morning and bonjour. It is a pleasure to welcome you to Kigali for the 2025 Compliance Forum, hosted by the National Bank of Rwanda and Afreximbank. We are honored to gather the distinguished community of regulators, policymakers, financial leaders, technology experts under the theme Better Compliance, Better Trade, Embracing AI to Promote and Secure Trade through a modern AML, CFT, CPF framework. Over the next 3 days, we have a valuable opportunity to share insights, challenge perspectives, and strengthen partnerships that will shape the future of compliance in Africa and beyond. Our discussions will revolve around 3 key pillars that define our collective mission. 1, harnessing artificial intelligence for smarter compliance. I want to say to you that the transformative power of AI is no longer a promise. It is a reality. From machine models that detect suspicious transactions in seconds to automated customer due diligence for cross-border trade, technology is reshaping how we safeguard integrity. Yet, as we welcome innovation, we must ensure that AI operates under guardrails of ethics, integrity, transparency, and more so, data integrity. Technology makes good people more effective, bad actors more dangerous. Our duty is to make sure it serves the right side of that equation. 2, strengthening trade through trust and transparency. Compliance is not a burden, it is an enabler. When banks and businesses commit to clear reporting, robust risk management, and transparent KYC practices, they do so than meet regulatory standards. They build trust, attract investments, and unlock new markets. Better compliance leads to better trade outcomes and ultimately to better prosperity for our nations. Number 3, fostering regional cooperation and capacity building. Financial crime knows no borders, and so neither can our defenses. We must embrace regional cooperation, share intelligence, and harmonize standards to stay ahead of ever-evolving threats. Through joint capacity building initiatives, we can strengthen our collective agility and resilience. Together, Africa cannot just lead in compliance, but it should lead in setting global benchmarks for integrity and innovation. As we begin this important forum, I encourage each of you to engage openly, think boldly, and collaborate purposefully. Rwanda remains firmly committed in building a modern, secure, and inclusive financial ecosystem, one that embraces innovation, upholds integrity, and puts trust at the center of trade. I thank you, and I wish you a very good forum.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Nick Barije, for your very powerful remarks. Technology is reshaping how we safeguard integrity, as he puts it. Let's give it up for all our keynote speakers this morning. They have indeed set the pace for the conversations that we will be having throughout today, tomorrow, as well as Friday. They have highlighted some of the crucial areas that we will be dissecting throughout each of the panel discussions that we will be having. And we really hope that we will have an engaging session with everyone within the room, and the conversation will not only be here on the podium. I would now like to invite our keynote remarks distinguished guests, if you could join me back here on stage. We're going to have a group photo to just capture everything that has been said in a frame. And I would also like to welcome Mr. Idrissa Diop, the Compliance Director, Afreximbank, to also join us for this moment. So please, if you could kindly come to the stage. I also request if we could have photographers get ready, and they'll be guiding us through this moment. Please, you're welcome. You're welcome.